Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Thank you for watching. Thank you for coming back. I appreciate it. Today we're just going to go over the top three packages for React for beginners. And these are some packages I found myself using over and over again when I was sort of still teaching myself and learning in code boot camps and stuff, just ones that really I felt I took to and I felt that that helped me a lot and that I enjoyed as well. And I use them a lot for testing. And if you're just learning React, you'll probably use them for that reason as well. But they're just as good in production as well. They work perfectly fine in production. Keep in mind that not everybody's going to agree with these, and I'm sure there's some that you would say I missed or that I should have included, or maybe the ones that I included you think are, a waste of time, but these are just the ones that help me, and that's what I'm sharing with you guys here today. Um, if you like the things that I do on my channel, please subscribe because I put out videos like this where I sort of go over things that will help you in your learning process, as well as I do straight up coding tutorials where we build a project or I show you a portion of a project and sort of walk you through the steps. So if that sounds good, then go ahead and subscribe and also like up this video if you don't mind. I'd appreciate it. And also, if you have any questions or whatever, or you feel you need some more explanation, um, feel free to leave a comment. I usually respond within the same day, if not a day or two afterwards. So feel free to hit me up for that. So today we're going to be taking a look at the top three packages that I find helpful. So without any more rambling, let's get into it. So this is Node.js, which you need to install packages, even though Node is a backend runtime language, or not a language, sorry. It's a backend runtime using JavaScript. You do need it to install packages because you need NPM, which is right here at npmjs.com, and you can type in all sorts of things here. Like React Strap, one of the things we're going to be talking about today, which is right here. As soon as it loads, sorry guys, my computer's running a little slow today. And this is it, and it sort of gives you some basic instructions for installing, which we're going to be going over uh, in this video. And it just sort of gives you a rundown, gives you a little bit of examples, shows you how to bring in the CDN so if you're not using NPM or React, you're just using a straight up HTML and JavaScript thing. But anyway, we'll get into this. So you need NPM. So go to nodejs.org and download the latest stable version. And it's a simple installer. And then you're good to go. The other thing I'm going to be using is VS Code or Visual Studio Code. I created a project actually I used Yarn, but you could also use npx create-react-app or Yarn create React app, which is I have a video that I'll leave in the little thing in the corner that shows you how to get started with Create React App. So if you need help with that, you might want to pause this video and go on to that one and then come back. But basically, I just have a blank boilerplate React app, but I cleaned it all out, cleaned out the unnecessary files, and I show you how to do that in the other video that I linked above. So here we are. So we have a blank app, and then I open a terminal here, new terminal, and then it comes down here. I like to put it on the right hand side. So we're going to do npm start after you create React app and clean up all the unnecessary files for this. Some of the files you need, but not in this case. And then npm start. I'm a little cold today, guys, so I got my blanket on. It's Friday night, and it's 10 o'clock, and I'm recording a coding video, so yeah, it's pretty exciting, I know. So here's our app. Obviously, nothing exciting, but anyway, that's it. Um, Actually, I'm going to go ahead and shut this down with Control C or Command C for Mac, um, and then that, you know, cancels it. I haven't done anything to this. I just added. As soon as this loads, I'm sorry guys, it's taking forever. I just put, I just took out the main div that was in there and stuck that in there. So let's get into it. Let's take a look at our first package, which is going to be React Strap. So we're going to install that. So let's install that. We're going to do npm I React Strap, and that's how you do it. You could do npm I or npm install, but I prefer npm I, and install React Strap. And I'm going to do everything in this main app.js, which is not the greatest idea, but for our purposes, it'll be fine. Um, Normally you would create components, but so basically what React Strap is it allows us to create or to use Bootstrap as React components or similar to React components, and you'll see what I'm talking about in a minute as soon as this finishes installing. But it just makes adding Bootstrap a lot easier, but it also integrates a lot of the great things about Bootstrap, like classes that you can apply instead of, straight up typing out CSS and stuff like that. And you'll see in a minute, it's pretty easy. It's pretty good. While this is installing, so this is reactstrap.github.io, and you'll see this. You come to components, and see here we have all or most of the normal React Strap stuff. Um, let's see, what do we go to? What should we go to? Let's go to buttons. So see, button, color primary. I mean, it's pretty similar to regular Bootstrap, except that you're treating it as a React component. And this thing is still installing. Sorry, guys. Let's see. It has modals, which is nice. I use those a lot. Nav bar. I mean, you can basically copy and paste and then just delete the stuff. We're not going to do that. I think, yeah, maybe we will. What the heck? But see how so at the top you bring in everything, just like you're bringing in another component into React, except it's a Bootstrap uh, layout design. So you have light, and then the color, uh, navbar brand, stuff like that. Now you do for a modal, for example, you do have to create your own logic for opening and closing the modal. But I'm going to do another video on modals and how to use them in React. Um, so be sure to subscribe for that because it's coming up soon. I'm going to do that pretty soon. Oh my God, this is taking forever. I'm sorry, guys. I'll edit this out if it takes too long. My network is just running really slow tonight. I'm not sure why. Uh, I hope you guys are doing okay during all this COVID-19. I hope you're staying safe, and hopefully we'll be out of the woods soon. Um, but what better time to stay home and learn how to code? All you need is an internet connection, you know, and a computer, I guess. Usually pretty important. It's still taking forever. Okay, looks like we're good here. Normally it doesn't take that long, guys. It normally takes like 30 seconds at most, but I'm not sure why. Anyway, listen, I'm going to go ahead and install the other NPM packages we're going to be using now just to get them out of the way. So the other one we're going to be looking at is Axios, popular HTTP protocol, and we'll get into what that is. The other one is Moment, which is used for formatting dates and times. So hopefully this doesn't take quite as long. React Strap is somewhat of a longer, I'm sorry, a bigger package, but it normally shouldn't take that long. Like I said, my network's just running a little slow tonight, so bear with me. I'll edit out I won't make you guys sit here for the whole time. Okay, so we got those two other packages installed. Let's start looking at React Strap. And like I said, we have a whole bunch of things. The one thing it doesn't have on here, uh, well, these are the components, has utilities and stuff for colors and whatnot. Um, but one thing it doesn't have on here is a container. So let's bring in, so we're going to import, open up some curly brackets from React strap, and there it is, VS Code. One thing I suggest is this VS Code uh, package, ES7 React Redux GraphQL React Native Snippets, and it just sort of helps you out. I also have Prettier installed, which formats my code on save. Those are just two things that I suggest you add in, and they're pretty easy. So we're going to first bring in a container, the container object. We're also going to bring in a button. Okay, so let's get rid of this. So let's do a container. So it allows us to use Bootstrap elements uh, as JSX. Normally you would just create a div and you would give it a class of that, and you'd have to put the CDN link in there. It's just a little bit more streamlined to do it this way with React Strap rather than using the Bootstrap CDN and then having to give it a class name, etc. Now you still use class names, and I'm going to show you how. So we're going to create a button. Oops, button. I can type. We'll say click me. All right, and let's do class name. Now it's got to be class name, not just class. And we'll say primary. No, I'm sorry. Excuse me. Let's just color equals primary. Okay. And you don't have to set class name as BTN and then, whatever. It just sort of does it for you. Let's uh, start up our app. As soon as it gets going here, and it opens it automatically. Eventually, and here's our button. Okay, and it's in a container, right? You could do the same thing. Let's see. Oops, let's take a look at it. Buttons. Yeah, good, good. Hmm. Let's take a look at some of the other things we can do. Card. I'm just going to actually grab this card, copy, let's put it inside of our container, and watch. So when I save, Prettier formats it for you. Oh, and then of course we have to bring it in up here. So card, uh, card, img, oops, card body, and that's how you bring it in. Gotta use capitals, sorry. Card body, card title, card subtitle, and card text. File successfully. And there we go. For some reason it's not freaking working. Okay, sorry about that, guys. The one thing you need to do that I forgot to mention is you do have to use Bootstrap. oops. This is the sort of easy way. You do have to use the Bootstrap CDN, so you just copy it, go to getbootstrap.com, come in here, go to our index HTML file in the public folder and just add it in here. I just did that, and then save it, and then we get this. But you know, we can add Bootstrap elements with React Strap. Let's see, what else can we add in here? Something easy. Well, anyway, you get the point. You can come to here and it gives you, you know, all your different uh, uh, parts, all your different, I can't think of the word, gives you all your different components here that you can bring in. Okay, great. So that was Bootstrap. Let me close this. Let me get rid of this. Okay, so get rid of this. The next one we're gonna look at is import Axios from Axios. Now, Axios is an HTTP protocol, which means it basically makes an HTTP request to a certain URL, usually a URL. Now, the good part about, or the really good part about Axios is that you can use it on the front end with React strictly. That hits an endpoint or URL, or you can use it on with Node. You can use it as part of your Node modules to get like if you have to use an API key or something like that, you can use it with Node instead of Fetch. And it's just a better alternative, I feel, to Fetch. I feel like it's more reliable. Excuse me, sometimes Fetch can error out or whatever. So we imported Axios. Let's take a look. Now this is our NPM package of Axios. There's a lot of stuff here. Makes a XML HTTP requests from a browser. It also makes HTTP requests from Node.js, uses promises, but you could also use async await, which I like. For the back end, I use async await, but for the front end, promises are fine. Intercept request and response. We installed it either with NPM, Bower, or Yarn. You can also use a CDN, and then we bring it in. And then this is it. We make an Axios, we make a GET request, POST request, put, delete, etc. I just find it to be a little bit more functional than Fetch, a little more reliable. So let's do JSON placeholder. We're going to go to JSON placeholder.typecode.com. This is just a sort of mock um, what do you call it? A mock API where it has JSON data, and you just get this URL, copy that. Let's go here. Let's do, what should we do? So we're going to do axios.get, and we're going to put in our URL, and that's it. Okay. And then let's call this let results. Let's put this in a variable equal axios.get. Okay. And then let's just console.log, because again, I'm not building an entire project. I just want to show you how to get it. Results. And we're going to console log the results. Save all. Good. No errors. So let's go to our thing here, and you should see nothing because we're not printing anything out. But if we use our dev tools and we go to our console, hopefully it'll work. Okay, so we have our axios.get with our URL for JSON placeholder. Then we do our promise, which is .then. Okay, then we do a callback function inside of that, callback arrow function that is, that takes in our data. Actually, let's call this results so there's no confusion. So these are results from our axios.get call. Then we're going to console.log. Let's do results first. Let's just get everything. This gives us everything. Okay, and then we come back to our console. Loads. Now this is our response. We get our config, which has all the, which has our headers. It's a JSON response. This is the URL that we went to. Here's our actual data. Here's our headers. Don't worry about this cache control, but our content type is application slash JSON. Our request is an XML HTTP request, status of 200, which means it was successful. And here's our data. And here's our, all this information, our title and body. And if we open one of these, here's our body, ID, title, etc. Let's take that one step further, and we're going to also, so we're going to get out the data, just the data array. Okay, let's get that. Bada beep, bada boop. Oh my God. Sorry about that. Hit save as, save all. I just got in the habit of doing that. It's refreshing. It's refreshing. Now here, so this was from before, so this is our new response. And here we go. Here's all our data. Now here, from here, you would get your response, and then you would save it. You would use other things like use effect if you're using a hook, and then you would map through the data here, down here, whatever, data.map, stuff like that. Okay. Um, and by the way, using Axios, you don't have to specify that this is JSON. Axios can tell that it's JSON automatically. Normally with fetch, you have to do res.json, tell it's JSON, and then do .then again, and there. You can also do, down here, do a .catch with the E, whoops, E, I'm sorry, here, an arrow function, console.log, or error, just in case there's an error, which there shouldn't be. Man, it's really running slow tonight, guys. I appreciate your patience with that. And there we go. So there was no errors, but, here we go. So that's Axios, a nice HTTP. The last one we're going to look at, or at least the next to the last one, stay tuned for an extra one. So we're going to get rid of that. Our last one is import moment from moment. And this is basically a way to format dates and times. So let's say, for example, we do date.now, okay, which just gives us the current timestamp, or at least it should. Darn well better, I'll be upset. Saving. God, I'm sorry, guys, it's taking freaking forever. Yeah, okay, don't worry about that. So it just gives us this, which is the number of number of seconds since January 1st, 1977. So that's obviously not very pretty. So let's take a look at how to, close that. So this is momentjs.com, and down here it gives you this. So let's see what that gives us. Here's all you can even do local, different time zones. You can also compare certain ones. It's got all types of stuff, but this is a great way to use dates. So let's do const today equals date dot now. Okay, so let's delete this, and we're going to do moment in there. And then here is where you add your variable or your date, which is that, and then you do a method of dot format, and then you say how to format it. This is the months, the days, the years, hours, minutes, seconds, and then whether AM or PM. So let's see what that gives us. Go back here and see how it gives us this nice date, which is really nice. That's a great one to use. And that's really it. I mean, you're just using it to format dates, and you can also do a dot compare, things like that. Now, so I did promise an extra one, so let's take a look at that. Now, this is really um, sort of a, I'm going to shut this down because we need to install npm iuuid. Now, this really is a dev thing. You wouldn't really use this. I mean, you could, but you wouldn't really use this in a production environment. But it basically what it is it's a way to generate, excuse me, it's a way to generate random IDs. npm install uuid. You have to use this copy here. Let's import it. Of course, it's not done friggin' downloading, but it will. So basically, you use it to generate IDs. For example, if you were to say you wanted to test out having state, right? Const, here's our state, data, set data equals use state. And say you were doing some testing, right? And you wanted to say you had an ID, I'm sorry, say you had a title, and then title 1, body, body 1. And instead of doing this ID and then assigning it just a hard-coded number, you would do this. Right here, it's there for us. You would set it to a UUID, and it would generate a random series of characters. Okay. So you don't need this, but that's how you would use it. And I'll just give you an example. So we're gonna do that. Whoops, I'm sorry. Need to put that inside of a. Oops. You need to put that inside of curly braces to insert it into the JSX. What the hell? Sorry about that, guys. Oops. Get that again. Copy. There we go. I knew it would work eventually. Let's save that. Let's start back up our server. Oh, darn it. I'm sorry about that, guys. Terminate that. Let's start up our live server or app. Any second now. Any second it's gonna start. I promise. I promise, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, any questions, let me know. Also, if you have packages, NPM packages that are good for React or backend, Node, etc., feel free to leave a comment and let me know what your favorites are. I always love seeing new packages. So this is what it gives us. It gives us a random ID number. And in fact, if you did it again, minus that, it would, well, I should have spaced them out, but it just continuously generates new random IDs, which you would use in your state if you're using static state. Listen, guys, I went on for a little longer than I anticipated, but I appreciate you sticking through the whole video if you did. Um, if you liked it, feel free to subscribe. I would appreciate it. Please subscribe and turn on your bell notifications, because I'm doing videos real soon. I'm going to do a React Strat modal, along with basically a full project and how to deal with posts and how to show a post inside of a modal, dealing with state and props. So look out for that. So subscribe and hit the bell notification. And thanks, guys. I'll see you in the next one. Much appreciated. Take care.